All right, good afternoon. Can you
And
hear me okay?
I can.
Yes, sir.
Great. Well, first of all, thank you all for coming, for joining us via Zoom for this CHSS Forward. Um, this is my 6 years as Dean at SAM, and over the 6 years, a lot has changed. And one thing that remains the same is your support, your continued support. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you all for your presence, for your support, and for helping us to move forward. So I'd like to provide an overview of today's program. First of all, we'll hear from our students. Delaney is an MA student in sociology, so she will provide her perspective about her experiences as Sam at first. And after her presentation, then we'll talk about CHS strategic priorities. And then we'll talk about what we have done over the years in terms of supporting these strategic priorities. And then at the end, we'll open for questions and answers. And of course, if you at any point, if you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand to jump in to ask the question. You don't have to wait until the end. All right. So let's begin by turning over to Delaney. Hi, Delaney.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here. I do not take this opportunity for granted, so I'm very grateful to be here and talk to everybody and give you just a little bit of my perspective of being a student here. So yes, as the slide says, I'm almost done. It's very bittersweet in the sociology master's program. I graduate in August, so I have one more summer class, and then I'm so sad I have to depart. But yeah, so a little bit about me really quickly. So I started at Sam Houston for my undergrad degree. I actually came from a completely opposite background than this school. I came from a business background. I got my degree in marketing and I took a class while I was there, and it was labeled as consumer behavior. And when I tell you that class changed the way I thought about most things, even it just absolutely changed my perspective on not only business, but also on people. It made me start thinking about, why people don't look at sociology or different institutions when trying to understand behavior, especially when it comes to things like decision making. So it made me realize that, like, people's choices aren't just about what they want in the moment. It's shaped by bigger systems and, the environment around them. But that would kind of is what motivated me to apply and come to the sociology and the human science world. But I've gotten so much support since I've been here, and receiving these scholarships have been a lot for me because, like I just said, I come from a completely different background. So when I first started, it was really hard for me because I was like, I come from a completely different background. And I felt like I was one foot out the door. I felt like I was constantly, being really hard on myself to catch up and to be where all of my peers are, because all of my peers are absolutely amazing. I'm so lucky to work with the professors and the other students that are in the program. So when I found out I received these scholarships, it felt like the first time I was able to kind of pat myself on the back and be like, man, okay, like what I'm doing, it's paying off. And like all I want to do is help people. And this program, has been such a support for me. One of my famous quotes from my one of my favorite perspectives, whoa, is his quote. He always says that, we all have a village, and that he told me that my first semester, Dr. Stites did, and I also have him right now for my last semester, and he's still continuing to tell me, we all have a village, and I really, feel that being here. I feel super supported, but being a part of this program and having support from all of you has given me so much motivation to really put my best foot forward and really go out there and do good things for people. Over over my past 2 years in this program, I've had some amazing opportunities. I've been able to go out to different nonprofits and visit them and see what their community is really facing, see how I can help and be, constantly inspired. And I've also been able to serve as a TA, which was a really meaningful experience for me because it gave me an opportunity to connect to students and be a part of their learning. So I just want to say thank you for everybody, for being here, for helping out. I'm very honored and I don't take it for granted. And I hope to take what I have been given here and use it for, a difference in the future for everybody that I meet. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Do you have any questions for Delaney?
I have one. I want to know, what does she want to do after she graduates?
Thank you for that question. That's a great question. So I want to work in housing. I don't want to be a real estate agent. I currently work in the real estate world, and I have heard some really uncomfortable things about people who, especially Section 8 housing. I've heard some really uncomfortable things about those and from real estate agents, and it's really disheartening hearing this because you look at people who try their best foot forward every day, and they are so happy, and there's people on the other end that are completely distraught by the whole situation. So my whole hopeful is to work in a nonprofit that is able to help people that are in rough situations get a roof over their head, because I am learning all the back end things right now. So when I hopefully do get given that chance to help people, I will already have the opposite side of the mindset and have everything that I need to know walking into the situation to be able to make sure I can actually make a difference and really help people. So helping people get housing and working for a nonprofit for that is my ultimate goal. Am I there right now? No, but I expect that I do have to work for it, and I am absolutely willing to work for it.
That's a great aspiration.
Any other questions for Delaney? No? All right. Thank you for joining us, Delaney. We appreciate it. And congratulations on graduation. And wishing you all the best after graduating. And so next, we'd like to talk about the strategic priorities of the college. And so in 2024, we put together a strategic planning committee, and some of the people who participated on the committee actually are joining us today. So they work really hard. They talk with people through town hall meetings, through small focus group discussions, and so forth. And then come up with strategic priorities. Can you see the slide? There are actually 4 strategic priorities. As you can see, there are 2 of them, in the middle ones, relate to student success, right? The traditional definition of student success is that we move them through, after they graduated, we consider that's a great job, that they succeeded. But now the definition of student success has expanded. We not only want to move them through the academic program, we also want to make sure that after graduation, the skills and knowledge they learn throughout the academic pursuit will serve them well. So student success nowadays actually include finding a good job, having a good career, and all kinds of things to make sure that they're successful and productive. And so as you can see, the definition of student success actually is part of the strategic priorities. We not only talk about recruiting them, moving them through, retain them, we also think about making them career ready, ready for the workforce, ready to be productive in the future. Now, of course, student success is not built in a vacuum. So that's why we talk about faculty and staff excellence. that student success actually is built on the foundation of the success of faculty and staff. So altogether, that's the solid vision moving forward. And as we are becoming successful, we're also thinking about the community that we are part of. So the community engagement has always been an important part at SAM and will always be an important element for CHSS. So altogether, the vision and the mission and the strategic priorities for this college include faculty and staff success, student success, and working together with the community to make the community better. So over the years, let me talk about how we have accomplished this. So as you can see, our faculty and staff had to perform remarkably well and receive all kinds of recognitions from not just the university, but also beyond the university. So you can see we have since 2021, over the last 5-6 years, we have been recognized by all these awards at the system level and at the university level. So TSUS Regents Professor is the top honor, the highest honor given to a professor. And we received the Regents Professor last year. And then over the years, 2 of our professors were recognized as distinguished professors. And every year, as you know, that SAM Houston will recognize the top performers in the areas of teaching, research, service, community engagement, and also has a special award for staff. As you can see from the slide, over the years, that we receive not just one, in all the categories except one, we receive more than one recognitions over the years. So that just speaks about the caliber, the performance, the excellence of our faculty and staff. Beyond these, at the professional association level, they also received numerous book awards for the book they published and various professional recognitions. And so we would like to sustain their excellent performance. And the way we do it is to provide additional grant. In many cases, these are competitive grants, but we try our best, even when the budget is tight, to provide these kinds of support for faculty and staff. So there are enrichment grants, the professional development grant, and also we have tried to encourage the formation of collaborative, interdisciplinary research team. So we had the collaborative research cluster grant to encourage people to reach out beyond the department and form interdisciplinary team to do research, to have community partners and so forth. And so moving forward, actually this spring we launch a new grant. That's AI Innovation Grant. In today's age, the age of AI is very important, but how do we incorporate AI into our teaching and research is something we want to focus on. So this AI Innovation Grant actually covers 2 key areas. The first is pedagogy. So professors who would like to incorporate AI into their courses can come up with ideas, come up with proposals. And then also the second thing that not a whole lot of people are talking about is the research on AI's social and societal impacts. So in most cases, when we talk about AI nowadays, we talk about how to use it, how to apply them, right? But there are also things that we need to think about for the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, is that whether the rise of use of AI has any impact on the social behavior, on human interaction, on psychological mindsets, and on economic implications. So these are the things that humanities and social sciences should be front and center to think about the implication of AI for our future generations, for the human societies as a whole. So we will encourage research to explore the frontier of AI, particularly as it relates to humanities and social sciences. And we have a bigger plan, actually, that after we award these grants to the faculty, we want the whole college to come together to have an AI symposium in the spring of 2027. And so the winner of the grant will present the research and share their pedagogy innovations and share the research findings. We also would like to expand that to include students, to include other faculty and staff in the discussion of AI. So the AI symposium is to help us to be at the cutting edge of this technology, not just to think about use it, not to apply them, but also think about its implication, the broader implications for future generations, for our students down the road. So we hope that with these kind of grants, we offer an opportunity for our faculty and staff to be successful in the future. And the second strategic priority, as I mentioned earlier, is student recruitment and retention. As you know, that over the last couple of years, enrollment at STEM has been flat, and we're trying to grow. We are trying to have more students joining us to have the best education they can have. And this year, SHSU came up with a strategic enrollment plan. And this is the first time that the university with different divisions came together and put together a plan to make sure that different divisions knows its role in recruiting, in enrolling, and retaining students. And so in CHSS, we have already begun centralizing the digital advertising for our programs. We try to have videos created for each department, each program. We try to centralize the advertising, and we're trying to, more importantly, expand the scholarship for the incoming students at both the graduate level and undergraduate level. One of the reasons for the last several years that we stayed flat as them in terms of enrollment was because actually other universities have been very aggressive in offering all kinds of financial packages to the incoming students. In comparison, we just begun to do things like that this year. So we had Sam Houston Promise program, and to write off tuitions and fees for people, for families making less than $100,000 this year. Along with that, we try to expand student scholarship so that we encourage them to come in. The first year, freshman year, is the hardest for our students because they go through that transition. There's a lot of adjustments. If they are also worried about money they need to have, whether they can come back next semester, that is unsettling for them. We want them to be more focused on their study, be more focused on the academic programs. Therefore, we try our best to come up with scholarship for incoming freshmen, for graduate students. One thing I'm very proud of is our graduation rate, that we have not had a lot of chance to talk about this. When you just see the numbers on the slide, 4-year graduation rate of 46%, you may not have a benchmark to know whether it's good or bad. Actually, I tell you, it's very, very good. It's super, it's excellent, because the average 4-year graduation rate for public comprehensive regional universities is about 30%. Okay? So we are 15% higher than the average for our 4-year graduation rate. What this means is that when students come to SAM, to CHSS, 46% of them will receive the degree in 4 years, not the traditional 6 years. So that's close to half of them will graduate in time. That speaks volumes about the caliber of our students and how dedicated our faculty and staff are in moving them through, in educating and providing instructions for them. However, when you look at the 6-year graduation rate, 56% are still on target. But think about this. If we can graduate 46% of them in 4 years, give us 2 more years, we only added about 10% of the students to graduate. So that's something we need to improve upon. In other words, actually, we still have quite a few students who will not graduate in 4 years or 6 years. That gives you about 44% of them will take either longer or never graduate. And that's not good. We try to change that. And the way we try to do it is to provide more high impact practices to them. So these are the programs such as study abroad programs, such as student research, such as internship, and such as experiential learning like Model UN programs. All of these things are part of the education, a part of the co-curriculum. They provide hands-on opportunity for our students to sharpen their work readiness, to give them additional skill sets, whether it's in research, in cross-cultural competency, or in work experience. So we have actually internally tracked how these students perform compared with other students who did not have these experiences. So for the study abroad programs over the years, the advisory board and various alumni have invested heavily in providing scholarship for them. I'm happy to report that they not only have felt the impact of going to another country and open their minds, they actually gain concrete skills in dealing with cross-cultural competencies. The pre and post assessment for students who went to study abroad program show remarkable improvement in the cross-cultural competency. Okay, and that's a skill that's very important in today's workforce. And for students who participate in research and present at regional conference, we track the performance, we track the retention rate for them. We found that they have much higher retention rate and much higher graduation rate. What's even more impressive is the students who complete at least one internship. Look at the numbers they graduate with. The GPA for students who have done at least one internship, at graduation, the GPA is 3.51. And that's just says, even though there could be self-selection bias in this analysis, but does show that these high impact practices correlate with high performance, correlates with high retention rate and graduation rate. And our Model UN team, for the last 5 years, have received every single year an award at the National Model UN Conference, whether it's Distinguished Delegation Award or Honorable Mentions Award. They brought back something, and half of them never flew before. It's the first time they go to New York City that they get on the plane. But they perform really well in competing with all these other big name universities. New York's Model UN conference each year will have about 3,000 students to compete. And so to distinguish themselves with awards really speaks a lot about the caliber of our students. So retention and high performance through high impact practices is a magic formula we like to use. But all of these takes money.
One quick question regarding the internship program.
Yes, Tamara?
If a department wanted to become more aggressive about establishing internship opportunities, is there an office on campus that we would work with? For example, I'm assuming at some point we'd have to interact with HR, would we not?
Can you repeat the question one more time? I
college,
can't hear you.
I'm sorry?
Can you repeat the questions one more time?
If a department wanted to establish more internship opportunities for students, what offices could they or should they work with on campus?
Good question. So actually that brings me to the next thing is, okay, maybe I did not. So actually our dean's office is working on expanding the internship site. Dr. Jason Ania is working on talking with various regional community organizations in the region and trying to expand the internship sites for them to beyond Huntsville along the 45 corridor down into the Willis, down into the Woodlands, and maybe all the way to the Houston area. And so reach out to him and see if we can get something going with the department. All right. Okay. So all of these actually will need financial support. Going to New York City is not cheap. We try to provide support for students so that they can make the trip. Going to another country is not cheap. Doing research, supporting them, present another conference takes money. So all of these, we try to do our best through internal reallocation, through fundraising, to make it possible because these are important. These are important for students' retention, important for their performance down the road. We have also developed various new degree programs. One MA program in history and political studies has taken off. So students who graduate from this program will be able to teach at high school the both subject areas, so in political science, in history. And so this has attracted a lot of attention and interest from students. We also have proposed a new degree proposal in world languages and culture. We're waiting final board approval in May. And we also have some interdisciplinary minors and undergrad certificates that's being proposed. Moving forward, what we want to do in encouraging retention is to have a peer mentor program starting fall 26. Actually, it's a typo. It should be fall 26. We'll try to match student mentors with mentees and have various kinds of engagement activities for them, encourage them to interact. Our goal is for people who participate in this mentoring program will have 85% retention rate, much higher than the 78% we currently have. So that we encourage students to develop a sense of belonging so that they can stay together through this peer mentor program. We also, as I mentioned earlier, that trying to expand partnership with community organizations offering internship opportunities. We have made the initial contact and have very positive preliminary response from those community organizations. We'll continue to work on them. Moving on to the next subject is career readiness and community engagement. So one of the big questions people have is that in the age of AI, is it still useful to study humanities and social sciences? So I provide a quote here. This person is Anthropic co-founder. Anthropic is one of the big AI company. And in his view, he actually had a degree in literature for his undergrad. And in his view, the most important majors in the age of AI is those that can synthesize a variety of disciplines and also be able to critically think about to have the critical thinking abilities. And so I will argue actually humanities and social sciences offer students these kind of opportunities because those skill sets are exactly the kind of skill sets that we try to help our students develop. So for the last couple of years, we have offered skills workshop on intercultural communication and business and professional communication, critical thinking, data analytics, and applied AI. We'll continue to offer those, but there's going to be a new twist that I want to talk about later. We also I encourage them to use these skills and apply them in a community setting. So we have partnered with different local communities, asked them, okay, what are the pressing issues you are facing? And once they told us, we turn around to our students and form research teams and for students to compete in the skills challenge, come up with the best ideas to solve those issues for those community organizations. And students not only learn the critical thinking, analytical thinking, communication skills, they use these skills to develop concrete solutions for these community organizations. In the end, the winners of these of those programs actually win scholarship. Going forward, we'll continue to do these things, but do it slightly differently. So skills workshop, we're going to embed in all the UNIV 1101 for all the CHSS majors. Here's another typo, it's fall 2026. Starting this fall, we'll embed skills workshop into the University 1101 class for all the incoming CHSS majors so that they will have in the first year an opportunity to develop these kind of skill sets. And we are expanding internship sites through community partnership. We're also trying to expand the experiential learning scholarships because a lot of times students may need to work. They cannot just work in the no pay, unpaid internship. So we're trying to expand experiential learning scholarship for students who want to take on internship, but needs extra support for that. So moving forward, first of all, I want to thank you for your strong support. As I mentioned at the very beginning, your support has been valuable, extremely important, and unchanged. ever since the first day I come to SAM, I have sensed the Bearcat family is really a family, that people are warm, welcoming, and more importantly, they're very supportive. And so over the years, I have the opportunity to work with the advisory board, the members of the advisory board, and all alumni and various faculty, staff. And so I'm happy to report that for just the past 2026 Giving Day, we had a huge success in raising money. Close to $30,000 were raised for the Giving Day, and most of the money will go to freshman endowed scholarship and freshman scholarship, and CHS study abroad, study away. These are the two high impact practices we talked about. For the endowed scholarship, freshman endowed scholarship, we actually have used the lecture hall seat naming initiative. So for people who are willing to contribute $500, actually we can have the name plate for one of the seats in the lecture hall in honor of them and thanking in appreciation of them. And that has going on, that's been going quite well. Also, at the beginning of this year until now, just the last 4 months, we have had huge success in getting planned giving and new endowed scholarship. Just a quick word about endowment. A lot of people don't necessarily understand what endowment means. Endowment actually means you put together a set amount of money. At St. Houston, it's about $25,000. That can be paid over 5-year period. And with that seed money, the principal can be invested, and each year it would generate about $1,000. And $1,000 from that $25,000 will again can be used to support program or support student. So that's the whole idea of endowment. So overall, we talk about the 4 important strategic pillars of the college: faculty and staff excellence, student recruitment and retention, student workforce career readiness, and then community engagement. And we try to bring these together in a productive way, in a holistic way, and trying to center the student successful experience, building around faculty success, and then community engagement. And then throughout those time, thank you all once again for your help and support. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. Tamara? Yeah.
Oh, can we talk a little bit about the peer mentor program, which is launching, you said, in fall of 2027?
The mentorship?
Yeah, you mentioned a CHS peer mentor
Peer
program.
mentor, right. Actually, again, it will be launched this fall, not for 27.
26.
So-
Okay, fall.
So for the last 2 years, we actually pilot test this mentorship program in one department by providing help and support to that department. So the whole idea is that we'll have a peer mentor and a peer mentee. They will meet regularly to talk about various things that are important to them. You can imagine, talk about taking courses, talking about how to manage the time, how to use campus resources and things like that. And so what we have found through that pilot program is that they had a tremendous success rate in keeping students within the department. People who participate in that actually have more than 90% of them are retained over the years, much higher than the 78% in average. So we want to elevate that mentoring programs at the college level. So starting this fall, we like to launch that by encouraging the incoming freshmen and incoming transfer students to be paired with the mentor, and then trying to offer support to help them to meet on a regular basis, and then to report back about any issues they encounter, and so that they can develop a sense of belonging at SAM. Because one of the very troubling problem students have is isolation. A lot of the time they don't necessarily have good friends to talk to, feel isolated, feel helpless, and eventually become hopeless. And so we want to minimize that, want to help them navigate the complexity of the college life. So that's the mentoring program we're talking about. It's peer mentoring, student to students, and faculty is more the advisors, making sure that the peers are running smoothly. You're muted.
Who would be the advisors?
Who be advisors? We're in touch with several faculty members. If you're interested, let us know.
I'm already advisor so in our department, we've begun to do that
Yeah,
for incoming freshmen. And I'm an advisor mentor for 3 of them.
sounds good. Thank you. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Sure, Dan.
And this is for Delaney. She's not getting off the hook that easy. Was there anything in your college career that really stood out that was had a positive influence on you?
Honestly, I kind of mentioned this in my little spiel beforehand. The professors. The professors are absolutely amazing. I have had Dr. Stikes Zoom me every single week. And he has touched me, touched my heart and how compassionate and how kind he is. And then I've had all the way, to Dr. Lee to absolutely helping me throughout a whole entire process. And that definitely changed my mind, or not changed my mind, but definitely gained a new perspective of higher education and, of this department as a whole. Because as I said, I'm not from this, I'm not from this area when I graduated with my undergrad. And so the professors have really, been so kind and so nice. And it's amazing to see as I go from one professor one semester to another professor in the other semester, they're all for the students. They're all for you. They want to see you win. They want to see you do well. So that the professors were, what touched me. So that and the giving day. I was able to go to one of the giving days, being able to be there in the forefront and hearing from the people who see it, kind of like the mentorship program. I think that's a great idea. You're hearing the true thoughts and the true values of what, the new incoming students are going to be. And we were able to hear different nonprofits, different communities talk to us about what they're battling with, how they're going to battle it, and see if there's anything that, we can help them out with. So, the people and the experiences have really touched me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
One question.
Sure.
What percentage of the enrollment in CHSS are international students?
We actually are very low international enrollment. For Sam Houston, actually the number is below 3%, I believe. Historically, we have not had huge presence of international students on campus. Another limitation we have is that most of our grad programs are online programs. And the rule is that if you are F1 visa, you cannot take entirely online courses. you have to, out of the 3 courses you take, maybe 1 can be online. The others have to be face-to-face.
Okay. I
So
didn't
that
real-
also limits our ability to recruit internationally.
Well, the reason I asked that question, I've had kind of a unique experience the last couple of years with an international student that came to school at Texas State here in San Marcos, and so I have, I guess, weekly contact with her, and I think it's been immensely supportive for her. She is a straight A student, which has been amazing to me, with the language barriers and everything she's overcome. And so, anyway, I don't know if y'all have even thought of reaching out to the community through the churches and that sort of thing. That's kind of how I happened upon this or happened into this situation. But anyway, it's been great for me, and it's been great for her too.
Absolutely. Actually, I think the university is working on expanding to recruit more international students. And so they have come up with a plan, and actually tomorrow we'll hear about that plan in the dean's meetings.
Dean
Thank
Lee, can I just say something real quick since I'm on here? This is Rhonda.
Absolutely. Rhonda, by the way,
Margaret,
Rhonda, can you introduce yourself first?
so currently I'm the interim director for the Office of the International Programs here. And Margaret, we just did a visit with Texas State to model some ideas here at Sam Houston with Texas State. So there will be some changes coming. Our upper leadership is focused more now on some international recruiting. So some plans will be going into place to increase our international population.
Okay, I'm glad to know that because I think they probably do have a very strong program here.
We here at Texas State, yes, and they're looking to double it again in the fall of 26. So we're trying to model some after their programs, and they use agents a lot. And Sam Houston is about to start using agents as well to help with recruiting on location in international populations.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Rhonda.
Dean Lee.
Any other questions? Okay. Well, if you thought of anything after the meeting, feel free to email us. Send us the questions. We'll be happy to answer them. If there's no more questions, I want to be respectful of your time. So thank you all for your help and support and for joining us this afternoon.